everyone. Welcome in to the Father-Son Football Fanatics podcast. We're your hosts, Caden Combs and Michael Combs. We're glad you're here with us today. We're excited for this show. We've got a couple new things we're going to talk about, new segments, so I hope you enjoy it. And we'll get right into some news. So not a ton of new news in the NFL. The news has really kind of slowed down. You know, we got spoiled to some big news right at the beginning of the offseason. But the big news has slowed down, especially with the draft coming up in a week. You know,
I forgot it's in a week.
Yeah.
Today's 21st.
Yeah, so all the news has kind of died down. They're going to wait till after the draft probably to make any big splashes or anything. But we do have a couple pieces of news. The first one is Deshaun Watson. So they are still investigating. He still has 22 charges of misconduct and you know whatever that entails. But basically Jacoby Brissett has come out and said he's prepared to start the season.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
He's ready to go. There's going to be most likely a minimum of a 3-week suspension, if not more. So I would be prepared for Deshaun Watson to not start and prepare accordingly with your fantasy lineups as well. So do you want to get into the next piece of news?
Yes, so the news now about coming in a few days ago. It's been happening for a few days, but really the big part has happened today. So Deebo Samuel requesting for a trade because he doesn't have a contract right now for the 49ers. So he's currently requesting a trade. He can go to the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Packers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Packers,
The Chiefs and the Packers?
Yeah.
The Packers and the Chiefs?
I don't want him to go to the Ravens. I did not.
Yeah, one of the potential landing spots for him is the Ravens.
And the Steelers.
And the Ravens do need a good wide receiver, but they also need a good quarterback to throw to the wide receivers. So, but we did see that, you know, last year Deebo Samuel is a really big threat in the run game and the pass game. So that really could open up some scary potential for the Ravens if they have him on the team. And I, as a Bengals fan, I don't want to play against the Ravens with Deebo Samuel on them twice in 1 year. I mean, that's not what I want to do. So hopefully he goes somewhere else. The Colts is a potential landing spot. I think that'd be a good fit. I think that team could be really scary if he went there.
No.
The Colts?
Listening. Oh, yeah.
You weren't listening?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Producers, we need to make something happen here. No, but that would be a good spot, and I think that the Packers would be a good spot. The Chiefs would be. I mean, there's a lot of good landing spots
Or you
for
can
them.
stay with the 49ers, and my Super Bowl prediction can be right.
Yeah, see, your Super Bowl predictions might be up in smoke if he leaves. So that team will not be the same without him. But anywho, that's our news for today. So we're going to jump right into some bold predictions. Bold predictions. This is a new segment for us. We haven't done this yet, but as we get closer to the football season, and even in the football season, we'll probably do this a few more times. Just something fun to do, just to predict some things that maybe most people don't think will actually happen, but we legitimately think could happen. So, Caden, do you want to go ahead with your first bold prediction?
Yes. So, a lot of people probably don't think this would happen because that's bold predictions. So, mine is Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill will both be a top 5 wide receiver.
Top 5. Wow.
I think it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the talent. Jalen Waddle was definitely on an upward trajectory last year. especially towards the end of the year when Tua was there and they were kind of on fire. And Tyreek is Tyreek. I mean, he typically ends up in the top 5. So that's interesting. Do you think Tua can support 2 top 5
No.
receivers?
No. But still.
Okay.
It's going to happen. I don't know why I'm holding this cup, but it's going to happen.
Well, that's the Good Luck Cup. That's the Ohio State Cup right there. So you think Tyreek Hill and Jalen? Okay, all right. That's bold.
I know.
That's super bold.
I know.
I might need to change mine to the somewhat bold predictions compared to yours. My first bold prediction is I think that Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, James Conner. I'm going to narrow it down just to the 2 of them. I think Alvin Kamara and Ezekiel Elliott will both end up outside the top 10 running backs
Me too.
for the year.
Me too.
Okay, so I guess that's not that bold of a prediction. Jeez. I just think that there's guys that are going to come in and sneak their way in and push these guys have always, I mean, the last 5 years, Alvin Kamara and Ezekiel Elliott have been really in the top 5. I mean, they may have been on the fringe. They may have been number 6. They may, just outside the top 5. Last year, Zeke was 6 and Kamara was 9. But I think they both take a big step back this year, and I think they both end up outside the top 10.
Wait, Zeke was 6?
Zeke was number 6 last year,
But they were.
and it did not feel like it. So I guess that wasn't that bold of a prediction. Jeez, I'll have to go back to the drawing board on that one. What's your second bold prediction?
You are not going to agree with this, but it's bold. Cooper Kupp does not make it into the top 5. It's bold.
Cooper Kupp does not end up in the top 5 wide receivers.
I think he had just one good year. I think he's going to drop down. Like, he might be like 6 or 7, but he's not going to be 5.
Really? Okay.
Even though he's number 1 and had almost the most fantasy points in the entire season this year. But it doesn't matter to me because Cooper Kupp has got some talented receivers on his way. Because I also said that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, so that puts 2 spots into the top 5. And then you could just put Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, and
Justin Jefferson.
And he's out.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Cooper Kupp, and I've said it before, but I truly believe it. He's never done it before. He's never been even close to where he was last year. I don't think he does it again. He's 28, going to be 29, and he's never been that top 5 caliber receiver. I just don't think he does it again. He's good, and if you pick Cooper Kupp as your first wide receiver for your fantasy team, I won't think you're crazy. Bless you. Because he does have that potential, and he's shown that he can do it. But man, you're surrounding him with, Cam Akers is back next year.
Allen Robinson.
Fully. Allen Robinson, Odell Beckham.
Well, did he come back?
Well, it's not been announced yet, I don't think. But if he does, you've got Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson. I mean, these guys all are talented receivers.
That's why I'm saying Cooper Kupp is not going to be in the top 5.
And Kupp has had seasons where he's been riddled with injuries, so it's very possible he has another season like that where he misses 6 games. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think he'll be in the top 5. My next bold prediction, and this will be the last one for this segment, and we'll, like I said, we'll do this again later with some other things, but my bold prediction is that the Bengals, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, both end up in the top 10 wide receivers. I think Jamar Chase is going to be top 3, but T. Higgins is going to, it'll be harder for him. He doesn't get quite the target volume that Chase does. He's not quite as explosive as Chase is, but, he did.
T. Higgins last year got 17.
17, what? Number 17 receiver? Yeah, I think he takes a jump, and I think he lands in the top 10.
Kicks Cup out? Okay.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I'll go that bold. I will say T. Higgins ends up better on fantasy rankings than Cooper Kupp next year.
Okay, you're just crazy for that.
I think it can happen.
We got another wide receiver that's insane.
I know, but
we have Chase, and then we have Boyd.
But we've got Joe Burrow, who can support 2 top 10 wide receivers. He can do it. I do think that means Joe Mixon's involvement goes down, but I think that he can support it. So I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both end up in the top 10. T. Higgins ends up with a better fantasy ranking than Cooper Kupp. Mark that down.
Bold.
That is bold. All right, I'm getting bold on this show. Okay? T. Higgins, better fantasy ranking at the end of next season than Cooper Kupp.
Now let's get on to the top 10 picks, but I'm pretty sure we both have an extra 2. So
we always prepare for a little bit more, but yeah, we're going to get into the top 10 of our running back picks for next season.
Top 10 picks.
All right, this is our top 10 picks for running backs for next season. So this is where we think they're going to land. And what we've done is we've both ranked out our top 10, and then we compared them. And we put a list together comparing Caden's top 10 and my top 10. So then our list, it's got kind of an average ranking of where we think they'll be. So
now, I put my points and how many points I think they're going to get this season of fantasy, but he did not.
I did not.
So.
But starting off, first one on the list, you want to take that one? It's pretty easy, pretty
Jonathan Taylor.
predictable.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor really is probably the best running back in the league.
Yeah, he really stepped up at the end of the year. I mean, he just got better and better and better and better and better as the year went on. And it was just awesome to watch. And if that projects into this year, if that carries over into this next year, he's just going to be unstoppable. Barring any injuries, Jonathan Taylor's going to be number 1. Our second one.
But.
But.
I have Jonathan Taylor getting 319 points in fantasy this year.
Okay. That's less than he got last year. You think he gets less than he got last year?
Well, I actually meant to do something.
Put you on the spot a little bit.
I actually meant to. I accidentally put. I accidentally put 1 instead of 8. So I think
389.
389.
Ooh, okay. Okay. That's big. It's a big jump.
No, I was just kidding though. I was being sarcastic with them.
389?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have somebody else who's second on my list.
So, second average ranking here, Derrick Henry.
But you put Dalvin Cook.
I have Derrick Henry at number 3. You have him at number 2.
And I am predicting him to get 358 points. I accidentally did put 1 instead of 8 though.
Oh, okay.
Because I had Derrick Henry at 358 at 2.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Taylor at 319 at 1.
All right, so Derrick Henry at number 2. Again, that's that's going to be barring any injuries and things like that. It's really, to me, this next season is kind of it's kind of a tilting point for Derrick Henry. You know, the guys get to this age in their career as a running back, and you just wait for that tipping point. And I think this year is that tipping point where he's reached his peak and he's tipping, coming on the downturn. I think he's going to start getting a little bit worse, and he may not even end up in the top 5. You know, you just never know.
You can say that.
You just never know.
You can say that, but it's just not going to happen.
Number 3 of our average rankings is Austin Eckler.
Now, this is on my list, too. Like, I did 1 for Jonathan Taylor, 2 for Derrick Henry, and 3 for Austin Eckler. He did 6 for Austin.
I had Austin Eckler at number 6. I think with the pieces they've got in place, I think he regresses a little bit. Not much, but it also means that other guys are stepping up, too. You know?
I think that he's going to get 299 fantasy points.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. But number 3 on our ranking there, again, I have him number 6, just for the record. Number 4 on our average ranking here, we have Dalvin Cook.
Now, I did not have Dalvin Cook there.
I have Dalvin Cook at number 2.
I have Dalvin Cook at number 7.
I think last year was a little bit of a fluke. I think this next year he plays most of the games. I think he plays at an extremely high level. And I think he ends up number 2 on the season.
Number 4 for me, actually, is Najee Harris.
And we're going to get to him. But number 4, you had Dalvin Cook number 7, right?
Yeah, and I think he's going to get 273 fantasy points.
Which is still a pretty solid year. I mean, I would be okay with that from a running back. But we have him at number 4 on average ranking. Number 5 on our ranking, Najee Harris.
Now, I have Najee Harris at 288 fantasy points.
Now, what ranking did you have him at?
4.
You had Najee Harris at 4. I have Najee Harris at 5. I think 5 is right that sweet spot where he'll probably end up. Barely creeping his way into the top 5. He could be on the fringe and end up number 6. But I think with the volume that he gets, it's the Najee Harris Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, it's his team.
Exactly. That's why I think he's going to be a Derrick Henry.
They run the offense through him, especially with having a downgrade at quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. I think they lean on Harris, and he still ends up in that top 5. Number 6 on our average ranking, we have Joe Mixon.
Which he's my number 5.
He's your number 5?
And I have him getting 1 less fantasy point than Najee Harris. I have him at 287.
I have Joe Mixon at number 7.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I think, again, like we talked about in our bold predictions, Burrow is getting more and more comfortable throwing the ball. We have this offensive line that's going to protect him, and that's the kind of quarterback he is. That's the kind of offense we want to run. We are not wanting to run, at least I don't think, a run-first offense. If we did, we'd go get somebody other than Samaje Perine to be our backup. So I think Mixon will be very relevant.
The one that lost us the Super Bowl. They didn't put Joe Mixon in on the 3rd down and 1.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I think Joe Mixon takes a few steps back from number 3 last year. I think he drops back to number 7. We have him as a consensus at number 6. But I think in that, on the flip side, you've got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins that will benefit from that, and they'll both be in the top 10. Better than Cooper Kupp. So that's where we think Mixon will land. Our number 7, Nick Chubb.
My number 6.
You're number 6. I have him at number 9.
No,
He was number 7 last year. He's just barely getting.
He's regressing.
Yes, he's regressing. It's a slow regression, but he's regressing.
I don't believe you. because he's not that old. And I have him at 278 fantasy points.
And I don't think that he's that old.
He's like
I just think I think
25th.
he's had injuries. He has a timeshare with Kareem Hunt. And Dearness Johnson is now stepping in a little bit more.
He's probably better than Kareem Hunt.
I mean, they've got 3 good running backs. If Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback, I don't have a lot of confidence in him getting
Yeah, but if
very
Deshaun
many
Watson
receiving targets.
is the quarterback,
When Deshaun Watson comes, and here's the thing, Deshaun Watson hasn't played in 2 years. He's going to be rusty when he comes out. So you have the first 3 to 6 games of Jacoby Brissett, and then you have the next 3 to 6 games where Deshaun Watson's shaking off the dust from not playing for 2 years.
you mean the rust?
The rust, the dust, the whatever.
Pixie dust?
What the whatever. He's getting back into the swing of things. I think it's game 10 or 12 before the Browns actually start to feel the positive momentum of having him as a quarterback and having Amari Cooper on the team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But targets will go to Amari Cooper that were going to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt because he's better than any receiver
Maybe.
they've had in a long time. So.
Maybe.
So that's Nick Chubb, lands at number 7. You want to give the next one?
No, because I don't know who it is.
Who do you have at number 8?
Damien Harris.
There you go. That's him.
I didn't know we were doing that.
That's the guy.
Hey, could you be quiet up there? No, I'm kidding.
Somebody stomping around.
I have Damien Harris at 239 fantasy points, so from 278 all the way down to 239.
That's a big drop off.
Yes. Because I don't think Damien Harris is going to get over 250. I mean, he also split in the backfield with 2 other guys. I don't know their names.
Well, one of them, and shame on me for not knowing this, but I think it was Brandon Bolden got traded or signed by somebody else. So Ramondre Stevenson, I believe, is left in the backfield with him.
So cold.
Or it might be flip-flopped. But I think they also just signed James White. I think they just extended him for a year or something, too.
It's so cold down
Not
here.
that that's going to... Producers, we need a jacket in here.
Or the fireplace.
Turn the heat
on.
up. We need to think about that before we start these. You know, it gets a little cold on the set here. So Damien Harris winds up at number 8. I have him at number 10. He was number 8 last year.
I think he'll stay the same.
But I think the Patriots are going to add some pieces. I think Mac Jones' confidence level is going to go up in his passing. So I think some of those targets go elsewhere.
No.
So I think he goes back a little bit.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, number 9. And we actually had to change this right before the show because
Well, we started recording again. Before we started recording again, actually.
Caden forgot that this guy even existed in the world.
Well, no, I just did. Decided not to put him on. No, I'm kidding. I did forget about him.
Number 9 comes in at Aaron Jones.
I forgot about that, man. And I didn't forget about him, but I forgot that they got rid of Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
That's what I forgot about.
And if you look at their targets last year, Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball to Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones.
Or
Everyone
Devontae
else.
Adams. Aaron
Yeah, I
Jones,
think
Aaron
Devontae
Jones.
Adams had like 35% targets. I mean, he was literally 1/3 of their offense. And then between Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Robert Tonyan, A.J. Dillon, and then you had Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was the other big timeshare there, but everyone else was getting a small percentage of targets. Well, those targets have to go somewhere. If Devontae Adams isn't there, Alan Lazard's not getting 30% of the volume. A.J. Dillon's not getting a huge increase to 25% targets. Sammy Watkins, who they just signed, is not going to come in and get 30% of the targets. So
He might get 3%.
they've got to go somewhere, and Aaron Jones is the guy that has Aaron Rodgers' trust. He's going to go to him a lot more.
Well, I say A.J. Dillon's going to get a third. Because they're falling apart. They're
They're gonna have to draft a wide receiver, but it's a roll of the dice. You don't know who you get when you do that. So I think Aaron Jones goes. He was number 13 last year. Had a weird season,
on number 2.
but I think he ends up number 9, or I think he ends up number 8. You had him at number 9.
Well, I actually had him at number 4, but you had him at number 8, so we had to do all that math. And
You didn't have him at number 4.
I'm kidding. I have him number 9. But next for number 10, who is it?
Alvin Kamara.
I have him at 12.
And this is kind of weird because we both have him ranked outside the top 10. But we have other guys ranked inside the top 10 that are not the same, so we couldn't really compare them. I have Christian McCaffrey at number 4. I think McCaffrey plays most of the season next year. I think he's
You mean the
not the
Iceman?
old McCaffrey
Iceman?
that he was,
Or the Glass Man?
but I think he is a lot better than he has been.
I think I can't.
So I think McCaffrey is number 4. But that's just, and you had James Conner
At number
in your
10.
top, and I don't have him in my top. So we had to pick somebody that we did have in common. We had Alvin Kamara. I had him at number 11. You had him at number 12. So we shoved him into the top 10 of our average ranking just because we had nobody else the same.
I have Zeke at number 11.
And I have Zeke at number 12. So we could have gone Zeke, I guess, but I think Kamara is a little better than Zeke.
Also, I need to tell you how many points I think James Conner's going to get. So, and Aaron Jones. And Damien Harris. I forget if I told you guys.
Yeah,
239 for Damien Harris. 227 for Aaron Jones. 225 for James Conner. 184 for Zeke. And 172 for Kamara.
That's kind of low. I hope Kamara does better. I really like Kamara.
He's going to be the only person on their team, though.
Michael Thomas. They're looking at
Michael
the
Thomas.
possibility of Deebo Samuel.
The also Glass Man?
So
Or the
you never
man
know.
that just misses practice and misses games and misses everything.
But Kamara is he's been good in the past. I think he can do it again. I hope he does it again. But I think 10 and 11, that's kind of the range he lands in. So that does it basically for our top 10 average rankings on running backs. We've got next week, we're going to take a look at some of the draft picks. We'll talk about a little bit of that.
Well,
but
next week
the NFL draft.
It's going to be the draft.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday is the draft. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. And we've got some cool segments coming up for the future shows. So make sure you tune into those. Make sure you subscribe, like,
Turn on post notifications. And
leave some comments. We like seeing the love in the comments, and we'll try to comment back too. So, but hey, we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next time for the Father Son Football Fanatics podcast. We are out.